Hello and welcome. A pleasure to have you here to speak with you once again. It has been a few days since I've streamed, but I'm back. It is somewhat late. It's a quiet, very quiet Saturday night. Soon to be a lovely little Sunday morning. It's a good day today. Been a good day. I got to I got my old mattress out of the house. It was literally just had a huge stain on it, and since I'm working with like social services, and they gave me a mattress. The social service I work with has a donation system where basically they can give people in need, such as me. Specifically, the social services I went through is for abuse victims, domestic violence and such. And so they gave me a mattress. They gave me a couch, a new office chair, so when I move around, it won't make as much noise like it used to. And yeah, I just had to get rid of my old mattress. Had to throw it away, essentially. Just get rid of it. But yeah, it's nice though. It was just kind of sat there for like a day or two. And I just looked at it every once in a while, and it has this huge stain of just like summer after like hot, like the it's just like just sweat. Just like in the winters, my room would be too hot, and so I'd sweat, and then in the summers, the room would be too hot, and I'd sweat. You know how it goes. Very, very poor air circulation in my old place. It's not even my place. I wouldn't even say that I considered myself living there, honestly, just due to the fact of the abuse. But yeah, now I've got new furniture, and I'm so happy. I'm actually super happy. I made I don't know how long you guys have been watching, but if you're an old viewer, depends on how long you've been watching, but I made a scarecrow today, which seems to be a ritual that I do whenever I move out by myself. Whenever I live by myself, I make a little scarecrow buddy. Right now they're just chilling in my closet. I need to find a good place to leave them or something. I also need to find a way to like stand them up so they don't fall over. I don't know how to do that. I'm not an engineer. So I'm kind of wishy-washy on what I want to do today. I don't really know if I just want to like chat about like whatever video I'm watching, or ooh, Blasphemous 2 is on sale. I haven't even finished Blasphemous 1. And Dragon's Dogma's on sale. It always goes on sale for really cheap every once in a while. I don't want to play it because a very unfortunate friendship was during a very unfortunate friendship with somebody that's actually insane and abusive. he liked that game a lot, so it's got bad vibes. Not that it's not the game's fault, but, you know, for me personally, he ruined the game because he's just a bad person. My old roommate. Again, I don't know how long you guys have been watching, but I do talk about this fairly often. I mean, ooh, is this out yet? This comes, oh my goodness. Okay, we're playing Ghost of Tsushima soon. I know I say that about every game that comes out, but yeah, I want to play Ghost of Tsushima. What is going on with the... Something's... Oh, okay, it looks better in motion. I forgot Sucker Punch made this game. Sucker Punch, they made, damn, Sucker Punch, you're really gonna do me like that. They made, Infamous Second Son. I think they made the first Infamous games as well, but just like, I'm a real big fan of Second Son. I played that a lot. Towards the end of high school. I have 100% of that game. Making a change. The world's better. I do have a PlayStation controller. You can't even connect. I used to have a cord, like a special cord, where you could just plug in your PlayStation 4 controller, and then it would work on PC. I don't know where the cord went. I don't know what made it special, but any other cord or thing that I use to plug into my computer just doesn't work. It really fucking... It might be like the PlayStation controller cord, like made by Sony. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. New game mode in the finals, you say? Welcome to Terminal Attack. It's a new 5v5 single life attack and defense game. Okay. I don't have many turn your brain off games. It's just cause like I've always played like I've never had like a chance to like really get into the nitty gritty of like playing a game for stream. Anytime I've been playing like story driven games or just games in general, I'd either like in the past I just record them, but now I've kind of forgone recording for VODs just because it's easier. It's easier on me and it's more fun that way. But because of that, I just don't have any like, happy May 4th. May the 4th be with you. As we all know. Which is interesting. Actually, now that I think about it, that's very interesting. Mark Hamill made a surprise visit at the White House for a speech today. Which makes sense because it is May 4th, so Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. It's just my problem right now is I just don't want to like put a ton of effort into streaming story-driven games, which is like most of the games I have. that is the difficult part. I have to go make, like a snack or something. So I can take my medication. Blasphemous. I'm upset about I am really upset about the way they fucked up the Star Wars Battlefront 2 remake on PC. Not that, like, Star Wars Battlefront 2 was not that it was like a very good game or anything, it was just really fun to play, like, on PlayStation 2. And they just fucked it up. It's like actually unplayable. When did I get this gacha game? Why did I get a gacha game? Is this free? This might be free. Is this... Wait, what is this? Is this what I think it is? I think that's a MOBA. I think so. Soul Calibur 6. I don't know when or why I bought Shenmue 1 and 2. I have no idea why I did that. I think somebody was like playing Shenmue on YouTube and I was like, that looks interesting. I should get it. And I spent money on it. When I really shouldn't have. I got space here, so I might as well install it there. Damn, no, that's an easy one to install. It takes like 2 seconds. I feel like I should like replay a game that I never played for the channel. Or for the stream, sorry. I do more streaming than YouTube stuff. Like, I beat Devil May Cry 5 by myself with no one fucking around. I beat it in 34 hours? That game is only 34 hours long? I must have been fucking running through that. It can't be right. I was playing that on my shitty computer too. So it was like, it was bugging out. Snake Pass. The game I bought and never played. I think I just bought this game because it like, I don't know, I just like... It's such a bad game, actually. It's like not a good game. I bought it because I thought it looked good, but I never actually played it, so it really can't be that good. They really thought, ooh, platformer, but you're a snake, so you can't jump. Like, what? What do you mean by that? That spooked me. I get spooked easily nowadays. I hold hands with cosmic entities. I take this too bad if I please. I got this sweet tooth, baby. Oh, excuse me. Imagine playing Team Fortress 2 in 2024. Imagine that. Could you imagine that? I literally cannot. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. I forgot my phone was on airplane mode. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I was looking at my games here. Spec Ops The Line, okay. Alright. Helldivers, but it's the first one. That's right, folks. I was part of the Helldivers before it was cool. You actually thought you were a you were part of a democracy? Bro, classic. Look at that. Just haters in chat. I have so many games I've never played. Wait, I thought I installed this. Install, please. That's a cute one. I want to play that. That was quick. Oh, I made it to the end. That's it? That's all I got? Come on. I should finish this game. I really should. When are they bringing Red Dead 1 onto the PC? That's what I want to know. I want to play Red Dead Redemption 1 on the PC. Fucked up that they haven't done it already. It's fucked up. What am I looking at here? What the fuck? What the fuck is happening in this picture? What the... Yeah, let me click on that. That's a real person. Oh my goodness. They posted this shit to Steam? Are you fucking kidding me? I hold hands with cosmic entities. Maybe I should play Death Stranding. Maybe I should play Death Stranding. Well, what would you do if I was playing Death Stranding? I was delivering packages with Norman Reedus and his fetus. Norman Reedus had a fetus. I hold hands with cosmic entities. I take this too bad if I please. You know what? Let's play that one day. One of these days. One of these days, boom, pow, straight to the moon. I think most of my, turn your brain off games are like Nintendo games, and I just don't know how to put those games on my PC, or like I know that it's just so expensive to like stream games from an external source like a console. Because you have to buy like converters and fucking Delgados. And I don't have money to drop on a Delgado right now. Near Automata could be fun. Could be. Rather, Near Automata or Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. Which would be better? And like, which one is better objectively? Because they're both really good games. They play really well. But which one plays better? Personally, I like Nier Automata better. So I'm gonna download it. Let's put it in here. Just because I got the space for it. Alright. Get that off the screen. Get off the screen. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Today we're going to actually just watch some videos. Alright. Where's that darn thing? Oh, is that a sweet tooth? I hold hands with cosmic entities. I take this too bad if I please. I got this sweet tooth, baby, yeah. I got this sweet tooth, baby, yeah. Sweet tooth. I got a sweet tooth. Which one was it? This one. Okay. Let's skip ahead, I guess, to the beginning of the video.
Much for listening. I gotta start with fat activists because I need to know what's going on here.
Fat positivity activists are now teaming up with corporate America. Biden is trolling Republicans in bad faith, and a woke TikToker is saying that grammar is racist. We're going to talk about all that and much more in today's episode of Brad vs. Everyone, my new daily series where we break down the craziest.
Okay, so I was wondering, because he has so many videos, like one after the other. Brad does videos every day. That's insane. He must have, do you know what? It would explain, actually. If he has an editor or a manager or somebody taking on some part of the business for him, it would make sense why he refers to himself in the third person in some of his playlists and descriptions and stuff. Initial instinctive reaction, it's very cleanly made. He's very well spoken. He highlights what's coming up in a little intro. He's even got chapter markers. It's a nice, clean, like, high-quality image. He's very expressive. Can't look away from his ears for some reason.
Let's check in on our friends over in the fat positivity movement because they've apparently found new allies in corporate America?
So this is one initial criticism I have, right? And this is something I try to avoid, but I think I'm probably guilty of falling into it. And I think probably most people are using these heuristics, right? Is referring to like individuals doing things as if it's like covers an entire group, like fat positivity activism. It's not a term I'd heard before. I didn't know there was I knew there's a fat positivity movement. I didn't know of fat positivity activism. I guess it makes sense as much as anything else. But referring to like they're doing this sort of implies that if this person is doing something bad, that reflects on the whole. See, they're all crazy is kind of the vibe, and that's why I don't dig this kind of content, this kind of channel. I try not to do that in mine. I'm sure you can find places where I've like fallen foul of just referring to a group as a whole. But I don't like that.
The Washington Post just broke a big investigative story headlined, "As obesity rises, big food and dietitians are pushing, quote, anti-diet advice. General Mills is warning of food shaming, and dietitian influencers are promoting junk foods and discouraging weight loss efforts." Yeah, we're off to an interesting start.
Yeah. I don't know why that made me laugh.
Such a classic YouTuber thing. It's such like a Marvel that's like a Marvel comedy thing, like, he's standing right behind me, isn't he? And it's like fucking Thanos with a fucking never I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say originally. Anyways, I think that's fucking hilarious. Why would you even... That's how you know we've made it to peak comedy. He's standing right behind me, isn't he? I'm gonna grab my little snack, make my little snack, okay? I'm just gonna be right back. Please enjoy the music. bagel. It'll be done in a couple minutes. Back to the video.
Okay, so initially it's like a pretty stark headline. It's pairing anti-diet culture with the rise of obesity. Again, I think largely a lot of it is culture-driven and corporate-driven. The cheapest, most readily available stuff is like fast food and canned products, you know? It's a societal issue that isn't necessarily solved by what can be harmful diet culture. I don't think this is going to be a super nuanced take. I think this is going to be looking at kooky anti-diet stuff. Let's skip ahead to this TikTok.
I'm going to show you guys an example of one of these videos from a so-called dietitian.
Every time I pour a bowl of cereal, I'm reminded about the favorites I grew up on, which is why I'm partnering with General Mills. Honey Nut Cheerios were always my top pick, and that holds true today. As a registered dietitian, I will always advocate for fearless nurse.
So I don't know why he said dietitian. I guess he has some idea that they might be lying. I would be surprised if they did that on like a public profile that has who they are in it and they're working with big brands. I would be very surprised if they were lying, so I don't know why he said that. Dietitian is the term that is like legit. It's nutritionist that is the one that is not governed by law. A dietitian has to actually have training, and that's actually regulated by law.
He
so
might have been calling them a
good thing,
nutritionist,
that this person is a dietitian and is sharing dietary advice. So I don't know why he's like a dietitian. Man's got expressive as hell face. I think I might actually lose. This is going to be one of the occasions where I lose the eyebrow war with who we're looking at. It's kind of a shame.
Meals, including cereal, because everyone deserves to enjoy food without judgment, especially kids. My parents trusted the great taste and good nutrition of Big G cereals, and so do I. You'll find twice as much vitamin D as before, totaling 20% of the daily value per serving.
This is another thing that I don't like. This is another thumbs down to me, where somebody just plays a bit of content while they're like,
Oh my god. They're just reacting with their face. It's like, come on now.
bro, say something. We're just watching her video. That kind of commentary really
weird.
just annoys me. I guess if he's
Like
putting out
I
a video...
do, like I do that, right? I do that a lot. Sometimes I'll just like watch a video and I'll be like, wow, I haven't said anything in a while. But I'm not showing my face, you know? You cannot see my blank expression while I'm staring at a fucking video with my mouth gaping open like, oh, whoa, that's crazy. All you see is these lovely graphics that I've gotten from a local artist that I do not know the name of. They're Japanese, I believe. So, yeah. But beautiful graphics. Well, the ones that you see of the character Lane are from the artist. Which I can only ever credit because it's just beautiful art, and I just wanted to... I'm just always a fan of, like, showing off really nice art. I mean, my house is littered with, like, stickers of, like, D&D stickers, art that I created. I have a fucking tapestry of Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. My microphone has Goku on it, which is, I mean, come on. Art is art. I got I just love art. So it goes to show that, of course, my streams are going to be themed with someone else's art. I mean, maybe one day I'll make my own little things. I'm just not good at making GIFs, and what I want are GIFs. Because GIFs rhyme with gifts. I'm gonna gift you another BRB screen while I go pick up my freaking bagel. Hang on, I'll be right back. the loneliest streamer on the fucking platform, apparently. All my friends are doing shit today. Fucking going to the club and shit. I'm sitting at home streaming on my fucking computer. Eating a fucking sad ass bagel. I could be getting crunk at the club. I'm just kidding, I don't drink. That would be bad for my medication or my treatment. Sorry. It'd be bad for my treatment if I drank or smoked. So again, actually, how many months have I been without smoking? I feel like we're coming up on a year, if not on a year. Right? Oh. Actually, yeah. I mean, I'd do that here. Oh, you can see my... you couldn't see my fucking browser anyway, so it doesn't matter. We gotta go to... we gotta go... where is it? Google Calendar? Let's see here. Oh, shit! Yeah! I stopped smoking a year ago, or May 1st, it was a year ago. That's crazy. So now I have to, from May 1st, I have to count 12 months, so 1, 2, wait. Okay, so Wednesday. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So on April of 2025 would be my 2nd year anniversary of not smoking. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't even know. I didn't even know. Like, a whole fucking year has gone by and I haven't smoked. I thought about smoking a lot, though. Like, at the beginning, at the beginning of stopping smoking, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could smoke right now. It would be, like, the best. But I've become more productive by not smoking. You know? I feel like it was really hindering me because I wasn't at a place where it was, like, a privilege. It was more of a hindrance. Because most people, when they smoke, I feel like it comes from, like, a place of, like, oh, I'm smoking because this is a privilege. Like, I've made it to a point in life where now I can smoke. But if it's a hindrance to your life, I think you shouldn't smoke. You know, I think you should. It's at that point, it's not really recreational, because recreation means like you're having fun doing it, and it's not really fun if it's a hindrance to your life, which is what it was for me. That's great, though. That's really nice. Yeah, May 1st of this month, 1 whole year without smoking. That's crazy. So we're actually gonna put another anniversary here for, I mean, I really doubt I'll start smoking. So I feel like we'll hit this milestone. There we go. And I believe it was yellow. Alright. I use Google Calendar a lot. It's a great application. Or a great, I don't want to say website, but I guess it is. It's an extension of Google, so not really a website on its own, but it is an application. It's an application on my phone, so I guess it is a website. Not many, I mean, I don't know how many people know this, but if you go into any of your Google accounts, you can literally click on the, like, dots near your icon, and it takes you to all the Google apps. So it's actually really, like, convenient to get to, like, for me at least, it's to get to Google Drive and Google Calendar. And I usually get there through Gmail, but, you know, it's nice. It's cool. Close this. There it is. All right.
Video every day. He probably has to cut corners with like his reactions and his editing and stuff. I don't see a problem with this. She's a dietitian. She's advocating for like full balanced meals. She had cereal mixed with a bunch of different fruits. That looked good to me. That kind of made me like, I vibe with that. Banana and cereal and blueberries, yes. I just like, I don't get the problem. And it's like fat activists, and then it's like this perfectly normal, healthy looking woman who is a dietitian.
To call it
and you're
fact,
like, do you think your expressions and the fact that you put this in a video might be going a bit too far? Like, if this is anti-diet culture, then I'm all in. It's
I just want to
healthy,
combine
balanced
words.
Food without judgment,
My
having
dyslexic
a
brain.
good, nutritious breakfast, especially with stuff like banana that is like slow release energy and a good source of protein at the start of your day is a really good thing. Like, what's your fucking problem, Brad? What does Brad eat for breakfast? Fucking hay? Does he strap on one of those horse feeder things and just like chomp away? This is very bizarre. I think it's her in the thumbnail, and he's like titled it Fat Activists, and he's like chosen a frame where she's mid-chew and like tried to make it look like, you know, these lumbering obese fools. And it's like, no, that's a dietitian who's like making a decent breakfast. Okay, that's enough of fat activists, but that gives us a good insight immediately into Brad's vibe, right? Woke feminist civil war rages on TikTok. Woke versus woke.
He has a
Let's
video
go for what
on
we're all
his
here for.
on
Okay, I'm gonna fill up
Hasanabi.
my coffee, and then we're gonna take a look at a normal gay reacting to some queer TikToks. Give me money. Normal gay reacts to strange LGBTQ TikToks. Normal gay reacts to wild trans TikToks. I don't want to talk about the trans athlete debate. It's just resurfaced here as a big discussion. I think it's so distracting
Gotta love that
and
one.
not important. Obviously, it's important to athletes. Completely understand that, especially trans athletes, obviously. And in terms of getting young people into sport, I understand that it is important to some people. But in terms of like the scale of what we should be discussing in terms of trans rights at the moment, I think it's such a like, or it's so used as like a hot button topic to distract people that it annoys me and I don't want to look into it. Normal gay reacts to insane woke lesbian TikToks. Lesbian is in
What does that
quotation
mean?
marks as well. Let's have a look at that. Let's see what these woke lesbians are up
What
to.
does he
It might be
mean?
transphobic. Just because my instinct is like the normal gay thing doesn't make sense unless there's a bit of
These
transphobia.
things just fly over my head
especially
'cause
with
I
this
just-
being
I do
a
not understand.
centre-right. See, I can do it too, Brad. A centre-right, moderate, whatever. I can just foresee there being transphobia. So this is a warning just in case. I mean, editing me can put something here to clarify whether or not. We'll see in a minute. But just in case you don't want to see any transphobia, this is the bit. This is the time.
This section's icky. Denying non-binary folks discussing lesbians related to genitalia. I was gendering from Brad. Just
Being a lesbian has so many positives.
What a cute
for me,
outfit.
And it's so
What
amazing
a fucking-
for me in so many ways, and so many other trans women.
I know that you're not gonna like hearing this, but abortion is also a men's issue and a trans issue.
But I feel like a lot of lesbianism
this one mirrored?
being tied around what parts you have down there is weird.
All right, guys, it's time.
Yeah, it's transphobic.
It's trans.
Because
You can
those
see it in his face.
Why
You
is
can
it
just see
insane
the
in brackets as well? Something about Brad's grammar in his titles drives me crazy. It's just wrong. Is it all of this and the brackets and this is me doing brackets as like a hand. I should find out what it is in BSL or ASL, I guess. None of those were insane. Am I crazy? None of those seemed insane to me. Normal gay has insane reaction to normal TikToks.
All right, guys, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the
God, I have a shirt just like that.
podcast where I react to some insane LGBT TikToks from the perspective of a center-right gay man.
That's
Buckle
crazy.
up
Excuse me, I'm here for the perspective of a normal gay,
Yeah.
as was advertised.
and get ready to lose some brain cells with me.
Now,
Excuse
being
me?
a lesbian is much like being trans at the core of my identity. It is a big part of
I
who
hate
I
your
am
face.
and
And
how
I want to-
identify and
I fucking love her
Grab
hair.
you by the throat.
I wish my
Wring
hair
you
looked
like a
that.
towel.
I'm-
Slap you against the
This
wall.
is a secret. Don't tell anyone. I'm thinking of growing my
Just-
hair.
that's
out
what
a
I wanna
little
do
bit.
with this
It would never look like
transphobic
that
piece
because
of
mine is
shit.
too thick. Just queen, and the whole vibe, the whole aesthetic, gorgeous. Obviously,
She's gorgeous. She is gorgeous.
Brad doesn't agree because his face looks like he's trying to take a shit right now. He's like really struggling to take a hot shit while he films his
I
podcast.
really want to know what his stance
Intertwined
is here.
so much with my beliefs, morals, and like how I live my life. And being a lesbian has so many positives for me and is so amazing.
He's doing the thing again where he just sits there, where he just plays like the entirety of somebody else's video, and he's just sitting there like.
looking at he's just looking at the wall. Filmed myself looking at a wall.
On to the next TikTok.
I think I've done that
For
before.
me in so many ways, and so many other trans women, it's also amazing, and even other trans masculine and trans men people. It's amazing. Lesbian love is supposed to be very, very inclusive, and pretty much the only rule about lesbian
could you
love
stop
is
making that
it
face? Could you
does not
say something
include
rather than make a
cis men.
face?
So, a common misconception about lesbians is that it's just woman on woman. But you can also be non-binary and be a lesbian. And like I said, you can also be transmasculine and be a lesbian. Lesbian relationships
I
are
don't think
just
this
so
guy
special.
understands what gender
So
is.
good. I swear to God, there's nothing like it.
So if
He really paints this
Man's
woman as
taking
like
a dump.
he really
these
paints this
folks
woman
get
in a
their
negative
way,
light.
I
It's
mean,
really
the
gross.
word lesbian, it's just gonna lose all meaning.
If these folks get their way,
If these
first of all, these folks is collectivizing this one woman's perspective.
Yeah.
And it's literally, it's a woman,
She's not a
it's a
monolith.
trans woman, that's why I have a problem with it. It's a woman saying, I love being a lesbian, it's a core part of my identity, I find being a lesbian very inclusive, it doesn't just mean this and this is what it means. That's insane! I can't believe this person loves their identity and knows what they want from relationships. Clearly that's going to destroy society.
the world is it's
problem?
over.
This
It's
is
over.
such a like. This is why. So I understand. I probably often won't agree, but I completely understand commenting on laws and like big social changes. Like, you know, if something is going through Parliament or whatever American political system, you know, if something's being discussed in terms of the political spectrum, if mainstream news
That's how little people
is,
wanna know about American
promoting
politics.
stuff from a certain perspective and feels like one-sided, I completely understand commenting on that and having concerns based on your own beliefs. But seeking out people's personal TikToks who are just like, and again, I know someone's going to call me a hypocrite because I am, and they're right. Seeking out somebody's personal TikTok who's just like, this is how I identify and I love it. I have a wonderful life. This is what my identity means, etc. Like we just said. And being like, they're going to destroy society. What's the problem? Like, if these people have their way, what do you mean their way? Dating who they want? I don't understand how that affects Brad Palumbo. I don't know why Brad Palumbo is worried about the lesbians anyway. He's a normal gay.
Yeah.
Also,
You're
This
not lesbian. It's
part
not.
of
It's
the
not
video,
even your word,
This
Brad.
chapter is called "Is This Person a Lesbian?" And I would say, who fucking cares? What business is it of yours? Either way, you know she's not going to be interested in you. A, she's probably miles away, nothing to do with you, would never encounter you. It's not like you're gonna be, you know, this is someone you bumped into at speed dating, and it's really awkward. B, she specifically said that at least her view of lesbianism is that it's being attracted to people not including cis men. Since Brad is a cis man, that eliminates him anyway. So what does it matter to him if she identifies as a lesbian? All the, like, if you have the view of, like, the alphabet club and stuff and it's all a bit complicated, I do sometimes feel like all the labels are a bit overcomplicated and I kind of wish we could just, I wish we lived in a world without Brad Palumbos where we could all just be.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't matter. You wouldn't have to define your gender and sexuality by these certain criteria. It wouldn't
Yep.
matter so much. So, you know, if you think that's all a bit much, a bit complicated, then fine. In many ways, I agree with you. But it doesn't affect you. This is the core thing, right? It just doesn't affect you whether or not someone that you will never meet, that you'll never see, that would never be interested in you, and if they were, and you said a polite no and that was the end of it, would that even matter? Of course it wouldn't. Like, what does it matter if that person says they're a lesbian? And why do you
Yeah, why does Brad
get
not
to
want
decide
this
if they
trans
are or
woman to be a
and how
lesbian?
rude is it to summon up a big discussion on whether or not
Let's think about this deeply.
somebody
Let's think about this at a
else is
deeper
identifying
level.
correctly?
Why would
Being
this
gay or
quote
being
unquote
lesbian
normal
really
gay
shouldn't
man
be that big a
want
part of who you are, of your
says
personality.
the guy
To
who's
you,
on
you could
YouTube
say that
as
about
normal
any-
gay?
It is to some people. If you're an LGBTQ plus activist, if your social circle, your kind of like, you know, the events that you do, if stuff in a lot of stuff in your life revolves around the queer community, your identity is probably going to be a big part of who you are. If you have had particular challenges in life that you've overcome that have related to your identity, if you have overcome certain bigotry, that challenge has probably been a part of making you who you are. Because sometimes what's meant to break you makes you brave. Brad identifies as a normal gay. And
He
part
literally
of his whole
identifies as a normal
income, his
gay.
whole career, is him
And now he's
reacting to
angry
LGBT
that
content
people are
from a
identifying
gay
as.
perspective. So one could argue
Wait.
it's kind of a big part of his identity.
Why is
or at
he
least
being
bigger than a lot of
hypocritical about
people's.
this?
So how big a part of like being gay or lesbian is of your identity? Like that will vary from person to person, like anything. Some people have Naruto as a huge part of their identity. It's up to them. Who cares? Leave them alone.
Like, it's not insignificant. It definitely determines things about you and about your life and who you will
That's
have
crazy.
as a partner and build
That's
a
cra-
family
wow,
with.
you're-
and
wow, family.
That is definitely not insignificant.
but that
it really
can't-
doesn't count as a personality, and I don't really see
Oh. So it determines how you live your life, your family, and, you know, basically every aspect of your life, but making it a personality trait where you want to advocate for pro gay and trans rights, that's just not right. Like, you're crazy. I, a normal gay, know for a fact that you can't just do that. It can't just be you. That's not who you are. Like, you're choosing. You are this fool is literally deciding for people how they should feel about their identity. It's not your identity. So why are you, like, yeah, you can say that it's that like you can say that being a moderate center right commentator is normal gay, but other people will look at that and they'll say, actually, that's abnormal and you're a freak. You're actually a fucking psychopath. Like, stop, just stop.
see how it would totally inform
Yeah, you're right. Trying to make your whole personality about something like your sexuality or your political interests or something, like advertising yourself as a normal gay or a center right-leaning moderate.
Yeah, don't do
That's
that.
pretty
Don't
lame. It
don't
would be
do
pretty
that.
lame and stupid to do that because it's not really that big a part of your identity.
Yeah, don't do that.
your worldview or your morals or your values as if you're not an individual. You're still gonna need to have a person.
Wait. So I'm an individual? I'm an individual? So why can't I, the individual, why are you, another individual, determining what I can or cannot identify as part of my personality? Wouldn't that be you infringing on my rights as an individual? What, like, I haven't told you how to be, how to identify as a normal gay, but you're telling trans women that they can't have a strong feeling towards lesbianism. Like, what? What is going on? Like, why, man?
Personality beyond the box you check on the census, babe. And I'm gonna have to check.
He threw in a little bit of snarky gay, and it came across so fake. This man is not a real evil gay. Look, I'm a musical theatre nerd. I love an evil gay. The red caboose from Starlight Express was my childhood. Brad Palumbo is faking it. That was like a moment of, oh shit, I'm meant to be doing this from the perspective of a gay man.
Yeah, remember? Yeah. That character. For me, the character is him from the Powerpuff Girls. Like, actually an evil, drag queen. Like, the character's just the devil, but the devil is in drag. Like, that's evil. That's fucking evil. He's got fucking crab claws, and he wears fishnet stockings with high heels. Like, come on. Looking like a burlesque show. Like, that's... And he's all in red. You know what? That's actually funny. Because for some reason, the evil... Wait a minute. Wait. I wear red all the time. I have, like, full red outfits. Am I an evil gay? Am I the evil gay that they were telling me about?
Babe. That's just how it felt to me anyway. And since we're all being judgmental of other people's choices, I'm joining in.
You on this statement that trans masculine people or trans men can be lesbians. The only way that's true is if you're saying they're not actually men and they're just women, which I don't...
No, you piece of shit. No. Some people, such as non-binary, well, some non-binaries will go towards the route of saying they, them. They could also go towards the route of saying he and she as their pronouns. Meaning, you could use any pronouns. They, them, he, or she. But he doesn't get that. He's just a normal gay, you know? He doesn't actually have to think about these things because, well, he's just a moderate center-right, normal gay. He doesn't know anything about gender. It's like, what are you talking about? You could be trans-masculine and still, like, you could still go by she, her pronouns. It has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with sexuality. A person's gender really shouldn't dictate their sexuality. It can influence it, but it shouldn't dictate it, you know, because gender is on a spectrum and so is sexuality. So when these spectrums, you know, cross each other, it's just prismatic, you know, it continues to split into more and more because it's just such a diverse idea that you cannot find anywhere in nature. It's just not a thing, you know? Like, animals don't really have a understanding of sexuality, sex, or gender. They don't have genders, but they don't have a true understanding of sex and sexuality. We are the only ones that can determine these things. Like, people will always say, like, oh, my dog is gay, or like my cat's gay, or, you know, because they'll act a certain way around the same like another dog that is also a boy dog, you know, and it's like, well, that's not actually true. Your dog doesn't experience sexuality. You know, animals cannot really experience sexuality because that's a concept created by humans. You know, they can exhibit things that we see as a spectrum of sexuality, which is something, again, that we made, but they cannot comprehend it, so it's not something they're doing. They just don't have the capacity to think, like, they don't have the capacity to think, I am gay dog, you know? Which, actually, saying that, I think I said that to a couple of my friends. Like, that sentence. I am gay dog. What? It just came out. That's my brain. The dyslexia is strong with this one. All right, we're moving on.
I don't think you're saying, because you don't get to redefine lesbianism.
This is one of those.
Yes, that's how definitions work. So, if colloquially lesbianism has changed from to cis women being known as lesbians to anyone that identifies in some way, shape, or form as a lesbian is a lesbian, then yeah, that is now the colloquial understanding. I know that in his world, lesbian women are two cis women and gay men are two cis men. And there is no transgender because, as we know, he is transphobic. So why would that be a thing? What is a gender? I don't know why you're changing your gender. What? Now you want to be a lesbian? Wait, what? It's like, no. Those things did not happen. Like, they're not changing their gender, and they did not want to be. Like, they are this gender, and they are this sexuality. You, as a gay man, should know this, because no one taught you to be gay, you know? No one teaches people to be gay or trans. You just are gay or trans, you know? Or gay and trans, you know? Again, spectrum.
Things that I don't have any stake in. I appreciate that it's complicated, and I think, obviously, this is going to come across redundant and maybe...
Complexity in life is better than simplification in life. Because the more complex our universe is, that means we have more to learn about the universe. But if the universe was simplified and simplified, and it continues this simplification, we have less to learn and more to fear because things are getting easier rather than things needing to get harder. This is a mathematical constant in play. Things have to get harder and more difficult for life to progress. That's why many theories of how the universe came to existence or what the universe is made of is always changing, because it cannot be as easy as saying, well, I saw this and this is in the universe, so the universe is this. We once thought that the universe was made up of mostly atoms, and that's wrong. The universe is made up of mostly antimatter, we thought the universe was made up of mostly matter, but it is actually made up of more antimatter than it is matter. And that changes our understanding of the universe. Not because we've simplified things, no. That inclusion, that new information, adds to the complexity of the universe. So, when we, as humans, figure out these concepts such as sexuality or gender, they have to become more complex rather than simplified. Because if you simplify things, it's going to make it harder for people to understand those things. Let's take a look at art. When people simplify the world around them, can you truly say you can see that world? If you look at an impressionist painting of take Vincent van Gogh. You look at a Vincent van Gogh and you look at his style and the way he depicts the world. Are you really looking at the world that Vincent saw with his own eyes? Or are you seeing a thought that Vincent had that he put onto a page? He is simplifying the world. Okay? He's simplifying the world for your pleasure, for your wants. This should scare you, because the only reason he did that is because he was going crazy. He was going mad. when we simplify that, and that's not every artist example, but it is very common, you can look at many artists that do this, it is a sign of something is wrong, either culturally or mentally in the artist. So when we simplify things, it becomes more difficult to discern the complexities of life. But when we make things complex, it is easier to determine where we could go forward in that idea. When you see a beautiful painting of a realistic person in a realistic society, painting from the Romanticism era, or the what is it called? The Romanticism period of art history. They take stories and ideas and craft this lifelike image for you. So the complexity of this story is brought to life, and you can then take that information and can move forward with the story. When you look at a painting from Vincent van Gogh, you have to work backwards, because you're not looking at his story, you're looking at Vincent. Rather than the story what the artist is trying to tell, you're looking at who the artist is. And so this is a complex movement of parts that we have to understand. It's moving forward or going backwards. Mr. Normal Gay here wants to go backwards. He wants to simplify things. He wants to make men and women, those are the genders, and sexuality is, if you're gay, you're a cis man that likes other cis men, and if you're a lesbian, you're a cis woman that likes other cis women. And that's his black and white idea of the world. And we do not live in black and white. The world is shades of gray.
Be a bit self-centered, but I think my perspective is correct in that it's for the lesbians to decide. If you're a lesbian, it is up to you to decide what that means for you. I don't think me or Brad Palumbo should have any stake in what it really means to be a lesbian.
It was fought so hard for it to be accepted and normalized. You don't get to redefine it.
Yeah, people fought so hard to normalize and accept gay people. And that fight is over, and you're not allowed to do it anymore. Acceptance got to the point that I am comfortable with, and now it's over.
It's not non-men who love non-men or whatever sexist, reductive nonsense.
I think he thinks that trans women only call themselves, it's like a joke. Like, you're a trans woman, so you're calling yourself... Also, he said non-men. What the fuck are you saying right now? Who are you pointing at right now? That's what I don't understand from these transphobes. They will always try to bring up this, argument. And they'll say this, this completely just not useful stance. It's usually just they'll say a phrase. And it's supposed to misgender people. But who is it misgendering? Because the slippery slope of misgendering is, even if you misgender, the terminology that is used to misgender trans women can then be flipped on its side and used to correctly gender trans men in a negative light. But it still does that. That's just how the language works. It's just a grammatical thing. So when he says non-men, is he misgendering trans men or trans women? Who is he misgendering? That's the whole problem with transphobia and misgendering at a larger sense. It just doesn't make sense, you see, because you can't hit both of the groups, because if you're saying well, trans women are not men, then you're right, they're women. But if you're calling trans women just men that are pretending to not be men, then, or if you're saying that in a way it's just like, it's just backwards, and it's hard to like wrap my head around just transphobia, because like I really want to give these people the benefit of the doubt, and that they're trying to come up with some sort of logical argument. And like just looking at that statement alone, I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Who are you misgendering? Because you just, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's always like one side. So it's like you just correctly gendered a trans person. They are non-men, so now trans women aren't men. Like, if you're misgendering if you're trying to misgender a trans woman and you call them a non-man, then you're saying that they're not a man, which means they're a woman. So, and I'm assuming he's talking about trans women, which means he failed at his transphobia, because the only person he's had up on screen is a trans woman. So what does that mean? Is he saying that trans women cannot say that they're lesbians? Two trans women that are together cannot say that they're lesbians? But they're both women, so what would two women be if they were like sexually attracted to each other? They'd be homosexual, lesbian, or bi. So non-men doesn't make sense.
Since you just popped off about, it is
Was, again, I'm not going to get into the lesbian definition debate because it's not my fucking place and I don't care. I think you identify however makes you happy.
Wait. The definition of insanity. You know what? That's better than the definition of lesbian. Wait, get the quote. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Can we get the video of Voss saying that, please? Come on now. You know what I want. That's the one.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy. But the first time somebody told me that, I don't know, I thought they were bullshitting me, so boom, I shot him. The thing is,
He's
he was
right.
And then I started seeing it everywhere I looked. Everywhere I looked, all these fucking pricks. Everywhere I looked, doing the exact same fucking thing. Over and over and over and over and over again. Thinking, this time, it's gonna be different. No, please. This time it's gonna be different. I'm sorry. I don't like the way you are looking at me.
Oh my gosh.
You have a fucking problem in your head. Do you think I'm bullshitting you? Do you think I'm lying? Fuck you!
Okay. I just love the I love the joke there that no one really talks about. He says, I don't like the way you're looking at me. You're playing a first-person game. So is he talking to the player, or is he talking to the character? Because we can't see the character's expression. We don't know what the look that makes him angry is. And I think that is the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over again. These fucking pricks. That's the definition of the definition of being a lesbian. That's what normal gay over here wants to say. He wants to be Voss. The definition of being a lesbian is fucking a woman over and over and over again. And I'm sorry. Sometimes I just say things that doesn't. The definition of being a lesbian. The definition of being a moderate, center, right, normal gay is to misgender people poorly. Bro, just use like the actual terms that people use to misgender people. Use the offensive terms. Like if you're gonna misgender people and you're gonna be offensive, actually use the offensive terms. Because at that point, at the very least, we know that you're not a fucking sellout. Like,
and that's the end. But is it sexist? Is any of what that woman said sexist? Because if it is, then it fucking passed me by.
Women
'cause it's not.
love other women. So either trans men are men or they're lesbians. But y'all really can't have this one both.
so he was talking about trans men when he said non-men. Trans men are men. What is the non part? Are you saying that they're not men because they're lesbians? It's like, that's not how it works. That's what non-binary gender is. Like, non-binary is both. Agender is none. That hits everything. That hits everything. Okay? So, you're either a man, a woman, both, or none. 4 things. Okay? There is no non-man. Okay? Because that's not what agender is. Agender is none. So you're not a non-man, because that would make you a woman. So agender would be, you are none of those. So there is no non-man. You know, in every sense of the word, he's being transphobic to be transphobic. Just because he can. And I have a sneaking suspicion that's gonna continue. Yeah, he was talking about trans men when he said they're non-men, and non-men could, like, what does that mean? It doesn't make sense. You just cannot. I'll be honest with you, there are some people that you cannot misgender, okay? So it doesn't matter what you say. You just can't. You just fucking can't misgender them. Some people want both genders. Some people want both genders, but also neither gender. Like, it's a spectrum, you know. Each case is different. It's a case-by-case basis, you know. Yeah, in some of these cases they're rare, but it's probably still a thing. I mean, some people go fucking goofy with it. They go clown. They go clown on some fucking liberals or some shit. Yeah.
Ways. At least, not if your goal is to make any sense.
Also, this guy's giving, like, big, like right-leaning, liberal vibe. And I'll be honest, I don't know how to use that word. I don't really know what liberal means, but I said it anyways, because he's creeping me out a little bit, and I wanted to say that. He's given a vibe, alright? He's given a vibe.
And no, you cannot be a non-binary.
Well, that's just not true. Well, you're just wrong. Okay, interesting. So, where in the sexuality spectrum would a non-binary person go? So if 2 non-binary people got together and they were sexually attracted to each other, where would they go? If they can't be lesbian, then they can't be gay. And if they can't be gay or lesbian, then they can't be bi, because bi means 2 genders. So, are 2 non-binary people the best form of bisexuality we've ever seen? Like, because non-binary means you accept both genders equally. But even then, some people, again, spectrum, some people don't always do that. So what he's saying is complete bullshit, and he's probably never actually talked to a trans person, ever. Because any trans person will be able to tell you. Some people want to be non-binary, and also go by she, her pronouns. So they want some people want to go for the androgynous. So like both, like you know, you have features that are more masculine and features that are more feminine, and you go down both, but also you want to be you identify as, not you want to be, you identify as a woman. It's just you also have masculine features. So he doesn't understand gender. He's every time I bring this up, he's fundamentally wrong on the understanding of gender. People are allowed to express their gender in any way that they want. If they are non-binary but are also a lesbian, then that means that most likely they will also go by she, her pronouns. But that's not all people, and if a non-binary they, them wants to say that they are also a lesbian, you can't say that they're not a lesbian, because that's their identity. You see, but it's identity politics, you know. It's like you're not really understanding that you're making people's identity into a political thing, and it's like it shouldn't be that. But the fact that these conservatives want to make it a thing where that is how it goes, then it leads into a lot of questions of what their identities are. So it's like, maybe you shouldn't be talking about this specifically from your point of view, you know, when you're spouting off nonsense like let's riot the Capitol. You know, it's just like maybe we don't consider these people's political opinions as good, you know, or like as helpful in many ways.
Lesbian, primarily because non-binary isn't a real or
Wait. So, wanting to identify with both genders, that's what non-binary means. That means you are not part of the gender binary, because binary meaning you choose one or the other. So, being no longer part of the gender binary, you can then assume that these people would like both. Then there is such thing as asexual or agender, which means ace or asexual means you have no sexuality. None. As opposed to bisexual, which means you like both genders. You see what I mean? So I would not be surprised if this guy also did some bi-erasure in his videos. I would not be surprised. But if bisexual people exist, then non-binary people exist. Because bisexual people are neither. If you're bisexual, then you are both gay and lesbian. Well, wait. I was thinking of that from a non-binary standpoint. I came out as non-binary before I came out as a trans woman. Sorry, well, I just broke his whole logic there, yeah. If you're non-binary, you are both gay and lesbian. Because you identify with both genders. That's why you're they, them, because you're two genders. Or multiple. It doesn't just have to be the two genders. I mean, it's non-binary, so it's just not selecting one or the other. It's just non-binary, so not a binary spectrum of gender. So, yeah. Or that accompanies more genders than just man and woman. But he's insane. Non-binary people have existed for thousands and thousands of years. I mean, truly, the non-binary people existed in like ancient. I don't remember if it's like ancient Babylonia or no. I think it's ancient Mesopotamia, maybe. I'm not sure. One of the oldest civilizations in history, I assure you. And non-binary people have existed since then and forward. I personally come from Native American descent, and in Native American culture, we have the concept of two spirits, which is, may I say, I am very surprised that, not surprised, but I am happy to say that there are some outlets and some people that are putting 2S into the alphabet. It's very nice. I didn't think that was ever going to happen because I've kind of been acclimating and, you know, part of that sort of cultural, what is it? I don't know the words. But anyways, I've always pushed forward the idea of two spirits because I've known it since a very, very young age. And now people are actually recognizing it as a gender, which is very nice. Can't wait to see the. Oh, you know what? That would actually sound fucking sick. What would the two-spirit flag look like? It's gotta be something cool. I bet you they already have it. I bet you it's already here. Wait, if we look up the colloquial term, 2S flag. Okay, that's not. Ah, shit. Hold on, let me see. Oh, I put S too. I'm so fucking stupid. 2. Oh, there's a thing. Oh, look at that. I would rather this one than the other ones. I like the complexity of it, but I get the general idea that they're trying to go for here. I just feel like they could have. I don't know. Come on. No, I mean, I'm looking at it. It looks a little. I mean, I like it, but doesn't really go with the rest of the flag. I feel like somebody needs to do that again. Redo. Give us a redo. This might just be a concept, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a concept idea. Redo it. Do it again. Don't. No, not that one. I mean, it's alright. You know, I'm not gonna complain if that's what most people would go with. I definitely won't get a flag. I mean, it's not really. I don't know. I'm always an aesthetic person, so it's like. The aesthetic isn't, like. just looks like a fucking vector art they just slapped on a flag. Come on. The other one looks a little more interesting because it's like a white. Well, that just actually that I don't know how to feel about that. It just looks like a piece of paper. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna fucking make it myself. You should put like a fucking... You should put like the like 2 stars in the... Or like the sun and the moon. But that just might be like my own personal idea of what it should be. And we've made it to the Ice Spice American flag. I can't believe it. I actually cannot believe it. Oh my goodness. I pause so much. I take after my mentor. I also pause in like the worst position. Look at his face compared to the angelic figure known as Emma Thorne. I'm sorry. There was a little lesbian coming out of me. That's my bad. Sorry. I have to reel it in and be normal. A normal gay. Center right. Okay. Alright, let's do this.
A legitimate concept, but also
Transphobia. There's discussion as well within the LGBT community because every label has a fucking argument attached to it. That is why I get so fed up with it. But there is discourse, let's say, within the LGBT community over whether being non-binary makes you a part of the trans community. Most people I know say yes. Some people say no. A lot of people just don't care.
The people who say no are transphobic. Just gonna say that. Just thought I'd just put that in there. But pretty sure when I came out as non-binary, I'm also saying that I'm trans. So it's not like... I'm not saying that, like, I feel like you come out as non-binary, you're not saying that you are a trans woman or a trans man. But you are saying that you're trans. You're just not saying, like, which gender. I mean, for the most part, you can choose. Well, not the terminology. For the most part, you can identify as one or the other, and you can still be non-binary. You can still be trans. There's definitely non-binary people that I know personally that are non-binary, thus, in my opinion, within the transgender spectrum, but yet will identify with the gender assigned at birth. So they identify as non-binary, but will also go by the pronouns of the gender that they were assigned at birth. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's a good thing. They're still trans. Because they are still doing a transition. They are still transitioning between one thing to the other. Many non-binary people will often change their appearance to fit into the social category of... And I always say androgynous, but I'm not sure if that's a term people use anymore. But you know, just like straight down the middle, holding hands with both sides of the spectrum is what I'm saying.
Because most people are just trying to live their lives without Brad Palumbo judging them. If not transphobic, then just unnecessarily hateful, saying that non-binary people don't exist. It's not a real thing. Presumably you have some gender that Brad would assign to you. Brad would decide what gender you are based on how you present, probably, which is stupid. And again, the examples of how stupid that is are everywhere, because I am a cis woman, and because I have short hair, there is a debate over what gender I am, or am pretending to be, or should be, in like every video I ever make. Assigning people genders based on what you think they should be, what you see visually, is just pointless and stupid, and it doesn't work. So, in my opinion, if somebody identifies as non-binary, oh my god, nothing about my life has changed. That's still a cool person, that's still my friend.
It's literally new. Like, it's the exact same argument. I mean, it is become this monotonous thing of, like, just advocating for all of these things. And then I just hear the same arguments people would use way back in the day when gay people and lesbians were trying to get the right to marry. When I was growing up, they, at the very least in the state that I lived in, they did not have the right to marriage. And holy fuck, they're using the same terminology nowadays for transgender issues that they used for gay rights. It's insane. It's like literally she said, oh, somebody's non-binary, doesn't change my life, is the same thing people said way back when I was a child. But they said, well, somebody comes out as gay, so what? Doesn't change my life. Like that exact same argument. Like, well, okay, so what? They're gay. Why should we not allow them to get married? You know, like that's the exact same argument. It's like, oh, well, they're trans. Why should we not allow them to transition? It's like, oh my goodness. It doesn't make any sense. We went from one problem to another. We went from sexuality all the way to gender. And then we're using the same arguments because it is the same arguments that the conservative Republicans are using when they were going after gay rights. Same arguments. And the arguments were, well, it's against the Bible, and they're grooming children, they're brainwashing kids. Your kid's gonna go to school, and then your kid's gonna be gay because their teacher taught them to be gay or trans. You know, you shouldn't let your kid go to school because they're gonna get hit with the trans ray. They're gonna turn trans. You shouldn't let your kids go to school because they're gonna become gay. You know, it's like, oh my goodness. Why haven't they learned that their rhetoric is not working? It's not working. It's not working. And it's not even like, oh, gay people are not seen as like second-class citizens. It's like there's definitely gay people that are discriminated against, and that's, of course, that's the thing. That's the thing, and it happens, and it's horrible that it happens, and we have to stop it from happening. But having quote-unquote normal gays say that trans people's existence is not real or invalid, and that non-binary people don't even qualify as like real people. It's like, oh my gosh, you're making it worse. You're making it worse for yourself. You're making it worse for everyone around you that you care about, and you're making it worse for people like me. Okay, it's really fucking bad.
Literally nothing has changed, unless they've said, could you please refer to me by these pronouns? In which case, a tiny minuscule thing that doesn't affect my life at all has changed, and that's fine.
And they don't get it. Literally. Like, why do you think I had to move out and live in a completely different town? Why do you think I moved towns? Because if I didn't, then I'd be bombarded because somebody doesn't understand that the simplest thing to do with a trans person in your life is to accept them and just use a different word. We use different words that mean similar things all the time. It's, in many ways, it's just a way to keep conversation from being stagnant. Just use a different word. If you are so illiterate that you do not understand that a trans woman needs she, her pronouns to be used, like, you have more problems than the trans person in your life. And that happened with my family. Literally, with my family. I'm like, I'm non-binary, use they, them. Non-gendered words. No genders. None. But of course, in their brains, they're like, oh my gosh, you can't non-gender words. All words are gendered. It's like, no. No, we speak English in America. I'm sorry that you fucking colonizing, loving freaks and actually consider yourselves like you actually consider yourselves like Caucasian when you like are related, like deeply related to like the Haitians of the Caribbean. Like you're insane. You're insane. You're insane. They're insane. They don't want to acknowledge their own culture. They don't want to acknowledge the actual religion that is part of their culture, and they don't want to acknowledge gender. And like it's just like one of the many things that people like these conservatives just so many things that they don't acknowledge, and they push that onto their friends and family. And it's pointless. It's pointless arguing with them.
Right-wing conservatism, especially again in the USA, is very binary. It's very gender binary. So it doesn't surprise me that he would be bigoted about non-binary people, because sort of a lot of their beliefs, I think they kind of have to be in a lot of ways, because their beliefs revolve around this is woman, this is man do this, woman do this, and that is proper right way for society to be. And then non-binary people come along and are like, hey, I blow your whole thing out of the water, and they're like, no, you can't exist, so I've decided you don't.
Also, because if you identify as non-binary, you're explicitly saying that you don't identify as a woman. So how could you possibly be?
Wow, it's crazy that he got that wrong. It's crazy he actually got that wrong, actually. Wait, hold on. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Here, let's read what the LGBT Foundation have to say about non-binary. Let's read, shall we? Let's see what they have to say about non-binary people. So, it says, non-binary is used to describe people who feel their gender cannot be defined within the margins of gender binary. Okay. He is defining these people by a gender binary. If you're not binary, then you're not a woman. That's not what non-binary means. It means they cannot be defined. So you cannot define them as not a woman, because at that point you're saying, well, you're not a woman, meaning you're a man. That's not how that works. They cannot be defined by man because they are not within those margins. Which means you cannot say they're not a woman, because that means you are defining them as man. you go around in circles with this shit. Swish it around in your brain, try to understand what's going on. If you are non-binary, you cannot be described as man or woman. You can identify. Instead, they understand their gender in a way that goes beyond simply identifying as either, I like this word here, either a man or a woman. They understand their gender in a way that goes beyond simply identifying as either a man or a woman. So you can say all day and all night, well, if you're non-binary, then that means you can't be the gender that you were assigned at birth, because then you're not non-binary. That's not how that works. That's not how that works, because you're defining them by a gender, by one gender. And they cannot be defined within those margins. Because they can only be, because they understand that their gender is more than just if they are a man or a woman. So essentially, you are saying that they are non-binary or fall into both categories. And that's coming from a person that has identified and sometimes identifies as non-binary. I enjoy having features that are both of men and women. That does not mean that when I identify as non-binary, that I am a man or a woman. I am identifying as something that is beyond man or woman. So you cannot say that non-binary people cannot be lesbians, because they cannot be the idea that you are trying to portray. They cannot be not a woman, because they cannot be defined as a man. You see, and that's how that works. That's how that works. I know that you conservatives, you just want to use negative language because it makes you sound smarter, but that's not how the world works. You can't use negative language and expect it to make your argument better. It doesn't. It doesn't make your argument better. It makes you sound stupid because you don't actually know the facts and you just make shit up. Like saying non-binary people aren't real. Now, we've got non-binary here. Let's look at agender. Okay. Wikipedia. Okay, here we go. Agender. So remember, non-binary, you cannot describe a person as man or woman. Agender describes a person with no gender identity. It means that someone does not feel like they fall under any gender. You see? You see the difference here? You cannot describe non-binary people as one or another gender, and you cannot say that if you are non-binary, you cannot be this gender. You can't say that, because there's a whole other category, another gender, that is agender, which describes a person with no gender identity. This person, you could technically say, well, you're not a woman, because that would be correct. They're not a woman, and they're not a man. So, they are neither. Non-binary people is possibly both. You know, it's the none or all of the above. Those completely two different things. But yeah, non-binary people, I guess, just don't exist. This is the normal
I feel
gay.
like Brad might be one of those people, one of those conservatives, a Ben Shapiro, if you will, who sounds on the surface when you listen for a couple of minutes way more intelligent than they are because of, you know, a certain eloquence, a good speaking manner. And then you actually listen to what they say and you look at all the quotation marks and brackets and you're like, this guy's an idiot.
woman who
saying?
loves other women. The math isn't mathing, Cupcake. I honestly feel bad
Who's
for my
Cupcake? Please
I
don't
don't
call
have
me.
anything
Please don't call me Cupcake. Okay, I went to a haunted house one year, and I walked up to the. I went to a haunted house in Tennessee, no less, and I walked up to the ticket booth, and the guy dressed in horror makeup called me Cupcake. Okay? No, do not call me Cupcake when you're actively shitting on transgenderism because you just don't agree with it. Oh my gosh, you don't agree with scientific fact? That's crazy. Let's just give you a medal for not agreeing with actual reality. Because you determine that reality is one thing, but yet actually in reality it's another thing. Well, you deserve a gold medal for being the world's greatest bigot.
Just say that was just funny.
I just want to finish this video so
bad.
bad.
Unsafe. I wonder if that's actually what this person is saying. Let's see.
A lot of lesbianism being tied around what parts you have down there is weird. I see many jokes from specifically cis lesbians who say being a lesbian is about not wanting you know what, right? I can't say it on here. But like they'll make that.
Don't nod your fucking head. First of all, you're not a woman, okay? You cannot speak on behalf of women because you're a man. You're a cis man. And you, first of all, you're a white cis man, so all you've known is privilege. So if you're going to tell women what they should and shouldn't like in a partner, you are just furthering the truly horrific history of women's rights and gay rights. Why are you making fun of these things? Why are you determining that women and lesbians have to like specific body parts? It's so fucking weird. You're literally, you identify as a gay man. Why are you thinking about vaginas and lesbians having sex? What do you get out of that? What do you possibly get out of that when you have no attraction to the opposite gender? It does not make sense. It doesn't compute in my brain. Why you are nodding your head along saying that, well, actually it's a good thing for cis women to say that that lesbians are only allowed to like vaginas. It's so gross. It's so gross. Oh my gosh. And what about trans women that have gone through bottom surgery? What about that? Are you shaking your head about those women as well? Because they have vaginas. So is the head shaking, condescending head shaking, is that about trans women that have gone through bottom surgery? I don't think so, because it never really is. So, you know, usually with these conservatives, it's never really about the facts of the matter. It's just about how they feel, you know. And he feels that lesbians should only be cis women that have sex with each other. Oh my gosh.
Penis. You're welcome.
Entire personality around lesbianism. I'm a trans lesbian who has not had bottom surgery. And I'm not insecure. I'm not insecure about the parts that I have down there. But I do.
Did you see the face he made? Did you see the face? He said with his eyes alone. He said, really? You're not insecure? Maybe you should be. Maybe you should be, honey. That's what he fucking said with his giant-ass eyebrows and take up like 50% of his face.
Do feel unsafe when I go into lesbian spaces, like a lesbian bar, because there are certain people.
Bro, you literally just said that lesbians don't like penises. You literally said that lesbians only like vaginas, when a penis does not determine gender. So sexuality is based off of gender. I know you want it. Oh, sexuality sounds like sex, so these two things are based off of each other. No. That's what that's where trans people come in. It's like you've jumped the shark. You've gone too far, and you have to return back. Red alert! Please come back to your sanity. This is not okay. You again don't know how gender works, and apparently you don't know how politics works, because a very common practice in TERF ideology is saying that trans women are going to assault cis women in some way. There's been no proof of this. And there has been proof that when trans women are forced to go into the bathroom of which they, of the gender that they were assigned at birth, there is proof that those women will oftentimes be sexually assaulted by, or straight up assaulted, physically assaulted by cis men. That's been proven. The other thing has not, and he's like surprised or making a joke about how that's surprising, or like, what are you talking about? In danger, what are you gonna do? You know, like shit like that. It's just like, shut up, shut your mouth, please. I don't want to hear another word coming out. I want to finish this video so bad, but I can't stop pausing it.
People who still believe in the whole ideology of clocking and being clocked.
So I think that
I think clocking
Brad-
means like you see a person,
and again,
and
based
you're
on
like,
the
oh,
title
that
of this
person is
chapter,
this
lesbians have to like
gender.
Peter and I'm unsafe. That's not what she's saying. She's saying that this idea of like clocking and like people looking out and judging you, and again, this happens to me as a cis woman, it can be unsafe or make you feel unsafe when people are looking around and judging you and sometimes filming you and ready to kick up a fuss or start a fight if they think you might have certain genitals or identify a certain way. That makes people feel unsafe because it is genuinely unsafe, because hate crime is on the rise, especially against trans people, especially against trans women. That's
I
a
just said.
genuine fear. And this person, this
just talking
trans
about.
woman, is being very calm and moderate. Like, again, the 3 videos he's chosen for this are so, like, I'm kind of glad he's chosen these videos because they are so rational and well-spoken and reasonable that it kind of, at least from my perspective, let me know if you agree down below, but from my perspective, it makes Brad look like the crazy one because they're just expressing themselves in a very honest, normal, and non-confrontational way, and then Brad is like, unsafe? It's like, no, bro. Literally, violent hate crime against trans women is on the rise, so some of these ideas that contribute to that can make people feel unsafe because they are literally physically unsafe. Like, it's
Literally.
crazy to me. You've got to be deliberately naive to be like, unsafe. It's not about them not finding someone that's attracted to them. This kind of like, and this is the thing, right? I feel like the core of this is kind of homophobic as well, because it seems to harken back to this notion, this homophobic notion that being gay is about cruising and just looking to pick people up and have loads of sex. Feeling unsafe in a lesbian bar isn't
gay
about
means being a
maybe I'm going to
sexual
meet someone
deviant.
and they're not going to want to have sex with me. It's maybe I'm going to meet someone, they're going to find out how I identify, and then violently attack me.
When there's
and
plenty
to
of
not
gay people
understand that,
that
to pretend
are
not to
extremely
understand that,
modest,
to pretend that's not a
and
thing,
they
is
don't
genuinely
really
really
partake in any
harmful,
sort
I
of
think.
sexual
So that was a
deviancy.
really long-winded
they just
thing,
have
but hopefully it
sex
makes
with
sense to
the people
those
that
of you who don't get it,
the
who have never
person that they
experienced anything
are,
like that, who maybe don't get this whole like
attracted to,
unsafe
and
thing.
it's
I've heard
very
the lesbian
wholesome
bar
and
argument before and don't really
there's nothing, like,
understand. Like, people have
grotesque or,
genuine reasons to be
or,
afraid.
out of
Okay,
the ordinary.
I'm good. Carry on.
I don't trust it when people use the assigned gender at birth outside of its appropriate context. So when I see like lesbian bars or like lesbian oriented things that are AFAB only, it makes me feel a little unsafe, a little weird.
There's a lot to unpack.
Is he gonna argue? I'm so sorry for pausing, but is he gonna argue for segregation? I feel like he's gonna argue for segregation because that's what this video just described was segregation. It said only it said AFABs only, Assigned female at birth. Women only. My gosh. That's segregation. That's literally putting up a sign that says no African Americans will be served at this restaurant. Or African Americans will be removed offsite. That's literally segregation. Oh my god. Oh my god. They are segregating trans women. Trans women are not allowed to be lesbians. Because TERFs. First of all, if you're a trans woman and you see that there's a sign that says only AFAB people are allowed into this bar, that bar is probably filled to the brim with TERFs. You don't even want to go in there. So, if anything, they saved you the trouble of going into a bar filled with people that hate you. Okay? So, move on, find a different bar that is just welcoming for all people. There shouldn't be exclusivity in bars. Like, there really shouldn't be like a women's only bar. You know, it's just like, why do we have to make things exclusive? And if your argument is, well, if things aren't exclusive, then things are dangerous. Well, it's like, we only make things exclusive because things are dangerous for this group of people. Why not fix the problem? You know, why not fix our criminal problems, our criminal justice, rather than, segregate people. It's crazy. It's crazy because it's weird.
There's a lot to unpack here. Yikes. Oof moment. He's using our woke terminology against us. I can't believe it. That was so reasonable. It was just like, I don't vibe with this. I find it weird. And you can disagree with that. But acting like that was insane is actually insane. It's unhinged to view that and think, this is crazy. Like I say, it's not for me to get into the debate, so if you're gonna debate about it down below, if you're gonna have any debates about lesbianism, non-binary identifying people, etc. down below, keep it fucking polite, okay? We're not here to be Brad, we're not here to look at people living their lives and go, that's fucking crazy, you need to listen to my views. Like I said, the worst thing for me is when the hate comes from inside the house, because how much stronger as a community are we if we're actually united against hatred in general? That's why I don't vibe with channels like Brad or people like Blair White. Who's the guy?
Okay. I'm literally falling asleep on stream. That's crazy. It's actually crazy. Okay. I'm going to take a second. I'm gonna put away my dishes. And I'm gonna see if I have, like, enough energy in me to continue the stream. If I don't, I'll just say my goodbyes and we can move on from there. It shouldn't take too long to I'm just gonna put the dishes in the dishwasher so they're out of the way. Get out of my fucking face. Alright, I'll be right back. Please enjoy the music. Do whatever. Draw. Hop on TikTok, I don't give a shit. I'll be right back.